One of the things I often hear from men once they cross 60 is that they feel like their body has quietly changed the rules of the game. Maybe you've noticed it too. The energy you used to rely on feels a little dimmer. Your strength doesn't always match what's in your mind. And those moments of vitality, when you felt strong, capable, even passionate, seem harder to come by. It can feel frustrating, even discouraging, when you're still the same person inside, but your body seems to need a different kind of care to keep up. Let me tell you about someone who walked into my office not too long ago. His name was Robert, a 67-year-old retired teacher. Robert had always been active. He loved gardening, playing with his grandkids, even hiking on the weekends. But lately, he had started to feel drained. His stamina was slipping, his performance, both in terms of energy and intimacy, wasn't what it used to be. And he couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing. He said, "Doc, I don't want to feel like I'm fading out of my own life. I want to feel alive again." That's exactly why today's conversation is so important. Because Robert's story isn't just his. It's the story of so many men over 60. And it's the reason I, Dr. Nolan Easton, have dedicated over 30 years of my medical career to helping men reclaim their strength, performance, and vitality through natural, practical strategies that work with your body rather than against it. In this video, Men Over 60, Top 3 Essential Vitamins for Strength, Performance, and Vitality, Advice for Seniors, we're going to walk through how the right vitamins can make a powerful difference in how you feel every single day. And let me tell you, when Robert began to understand and apply this, the transformation in his life was remarkable. Before we get into his journey, I want you to pause for just a moment and think about your own daily life. Do you sometimes wake up feeling tired even after a full night's sleep? Do your muscles feel weaker? Or do you notice that climbing stairs or lifting groceries feels heavier than it used to? Maybe your confidence has taken a hit because your body doesn't respond the way it once did. If you felt any of these things, you're not alone. And more importantly, there are solutions that can bring back that spark. Now, the interesting thing about men in this stage of life is that we're not necessarily lacking food. Most of us eat 3 meals a day, maybe even more. But what we are lacking are the precise nutrients, the fuel that keeps the engine running smoothly. Just as a car needs the right kind of oil and maintenance as it gets older, your body needs a specific kind of care once you've crossed 60. That's where vitamins come in, not as pills that promise miracles, but as powerful building blocks your body can't function without. Let me circle back to Robert here. When he first came to me, he had tried all sorts of quick fixes, energy drinks, protein powders, even some herbal concoctions he found online. Nothing really worked. In fact, some of it left him feeling jittery and worse off than before. What we discovered together was that his body wasn't asking for artificial boosts. It was asking for balance. And that balance came down to a handful of essential vitamins that most men his age were either overlooking or simply not getting enough of. When Robert began to consistently support his body with those nutrients, the results weren't overnight, but they were steady. Within a few weeks, his energy in the mornings improved. A few months later, he was back to playing tag with his grandkids without feeling winded. And perhaps most importantly, he told me with a smile one day, "Doc, I feel like myself again. I didn't realize how much I had missed that." This is why this conversation matters so deeply, and why I want you to stay with me until the very end. Because by understanding these vitamins, not just what they are, but why your body needs them, you can create the foundation for strength, performance, and vitality well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. Now, before we go deeper, let me pause here to ask you for a small favor. If you find this message resonates with you, if you've ever felt that sense of fatigue or loss of strength that Robert described, I'd love for you to hit the like button on this video. And if you're new here, go ahead and subscribe and tap the bell icon so you don't miss future advice. Even more importantly, I want you to type a yes or no in the comments below. Does this message connect with you? Do you feel like this is something that you've been experiencing? I personally review those comments, and your feedback helps me know exactly how to serve you better. Now, let's return to Robert's story, because it beautifully illustrates the journey many men over 60 can relate to. The first step was recognizing that his challenges weren't simply getting older. That's a trap too many men fall into, thinking it's normal to feel weaker, slower, and less vibrant just because of age. Yes, aging plays a role, but how you age is very much in your control. Your body is still capable of remarkable strength and vitality when given the right tools. Think of it this way. Imagine your body as a house you've lived in for decades. Over the years, the paint fades, the roof needs patching, the pipes might creak. But with the right upkeep, that house can still be a warm, strong, welcoming place for generations. Neglect the upkeep, though, and little problems turn into big ones. Vitamins are part of that upkeep, small, powerful reinforcements that keep your house solid and functional. Robert realized that once he gave his body the specific fuel it needed, everything else began to align. His strength wasn't just physical, it spread into his confidence, his joy in life, and even his relationships. He had more patience with his wife, more energy for his grandkids, and a renewed sense of purpose that he thought he had lost. And that's what I want for you, not just to survive these years, but to thrive in them. To wake up with clarity, to move through your day with steady energy, and to feel a renewed sense of vitality that makes you look forward to tomorrow. That's what this conversation is really about. So as we continue, I want you to keep Robert's story in mind, not as some extraordinary tale, but as an example of what's possible for you. The essential vitamins we'll be talking about aren't exotic, and they're not difficult to incorporate into your life. But they are absolutely vital. And once you understand how to bring them into your daily routine, you'll begin to see shifts that remind you of your own strength and capability. When you think about it, life after 60 isn't about slowing down, it's about adjusting the sails. And when you adjust them the right way, you catch the wind again. Robert found his wind, and so can you.
When Robert and I began looking at the deeper picture of his health, I asked him to tell me about his daily routines. What struck me immediately was how ordinary they sounded. He ate 3 meals a day, enjoyed his morning coffee, and kept busy with light activity. But when I asked about his nutrient intake, what vitamins or minerals he focused on, he just gave me a blank look. He said, "Doc, I thought if I just ate a balanced diet, I'd be fine." And that's where many men over 60 find themselves. Here's the thing, food today doesn't always provide the same nutrient density it once did. Soil depletion, food processing, and modern diets all contribute to gaps, and those gaps become more pronounced as our bodies age. The way you absorb nutrients at 65 isn't the same as when you were 25. Your digestive system works differently, your metabolism changes, and your body's demand for certain vitamins actually increases. That's why paying attention to specific vitamins becomes not just helpful, but essential. Robert's main complaint was energy. He told me he felt tired even after 8 hours of sleep, and when he pushed himself, whether it was yard work or even intimacy with his wife, he felt drained. It wasn't just physical, it took a toll on his confidence. When a man begins to feel that way, it can affect every part of his life. His relationships, his outlook, even his sense of identity. And so the first thing I wanted him to understand was that this wasn't simply about getting old. It was about his body asking for help in ways he hadn't recognized before. Now, when we talk about essential vitamins for men over 60, I don't want you to think of them as magic pills. Think of them as missing puzzle pieces. Without them, the picture is incomplete. But when you slide them into place, everything starts to make more sense. Robert had plenty of pieces already. He was eating fairly well, staying active, and getting enough rest. But the puzzles still looked unfinished because those key nutrients were missing. As we worked together, I explained to him that the right vitamins would help his muscles function better, support his heart and circulation, and even improve how his body produced energy. And what amazed him most was how these simple, natural adjustments could restore something he thought was gone forever. I want to pause here and say something important to you. If you're listening right now and nodding your head because you felt the same fatigue or weakness, I want you to know that you're not alone. This is something I've seen in thousands of men, and it's something that can absolutely be addressed. All it takes is the right knowledge and consistent action. Now, Robert didn't transform overnight. In fact, in the first couple of weeks, he barely noticed any difference. But I reassured him that his body was slowly refilling the tank it had been running low on for years. By week 4, he told me his mornings felt lighter and he wasn't dragging his feet to the coffee pot anymore. By week 8, he started noticing real strength returning, not just in how he lifted things, but in his stamina and confidence. And by 3 months, he looked at me and said, "Doc, I feel like someone gave me back 10 years." That's the kind of turnaround that can happen when you supply your body with what it truly needs. And the beauty of it is that these vitamins don't just help with strength or performance, they ripple through every part of your well-being. They help your mind stay sharp, they improve your circulation, and they even influence your mood and motivation. Robert's wife told me she noticed the change before he did. She said he seemed more cheerful, more present, more engaged in life again. You see, when the body gets what it needs, it doesn't just stop at making you stronger, it lifts your spirit too. And that's why I feel so passionate about sharing this with you today. Now, I want to ask you again to engage with me here. If any part of Robert's journey resonates with you, if you've felt that loss of energy or vitality, please take a moment to click the like button. It might seem small, but it tells me that this message is reaching men who need it. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe, then tap that little bell icon so you don't miss the future videos we'll be sharing. And I'd love for you to type yes or no in the comments below. Do you feel like your body has been missing something, even if you couldn't quite put your finger on it? I read every comment, and your voice helps guide these conversations. When Robert and I continued our discussions, he admitted something that really stuck with me. He said, "I thought losing energy and strength was just part of being older. I didn't realize I had a choice." And that's what I want you to take away from this part of our talk. You always have a choice. Aging is inevitable, but decline is not. There are always steps you can take to strengthen your body, support your performance, and reignite your vitality. And I want you to picture this. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning feeling refreshed. You step out of bed with steady legs, you move through your day with energy, and you end the evening with enough strength and confidence to still enjoy time with the people you love. That's not a dream. It's the kind of daily life that becomes possible when you address these vitamin gaps. Robert found that life again, and it brought tears to his eyes when he told me how grateful he was. He said, "I don't just feel stronger, Doc. I feel hopeful." And that's something I wish for every single one of you watching this right now. Because hope is powerful. When you believe you can improve, when you believe your body can still serve you, you start living differently. You start engaging more, moving more, smiling more. And that's when life after 60 becomes not just about years, but about quality. So, as we continue deeper into this conversation, I want you to keep this in mind. The journey to strength, performance, and vitality isn't about chasing youth. It's about supporting the man you are today with the tools your body needs. And once you do that, the rewards ripple through every corner of your life.
When Robert's energy began to return, what struck me most was the change in his eyes. There was a spark again, a kind of brightness that had been missing for years. He told me one morning, "Doc, I woke up and realized I wasn't dreading the day anymore. I felt ready for it." That's when I knew his body was finally getting the fuel it had been asking for. And what's important for you to know is that this change wasn't luck and it wasn't chance. It was the natural outcome of giving his body exactly what it needed. As men over 60, we often underestimate how much our bodies still want to thrive.
The problem is that we spend so much time accepting weakness and fatigue as normal, that we forget to question whether they're actually necessary. Robert's story reminds us that those feelings aren't signs of age alone, they're signs of a body missing its building blocks. And once those blocks are restored, strength and vitality return almost as if they had just been waiting to come back. I remember asking Robert what difference he noticed most in his daily life. Without hesitation, he said, "It's not just about being stronger, Doc. It's about being present again. I can sit down with my grandkids and not worry about getting tired. I can help my wife around the house without feeling drained. I can even enjoy intimacy without fear of running out of energy." That's what these vitamins did for him. They didn't just change his body, they changed his life. Now, let's pause here and think about your life. Imagine being able to move through the day without constantly conserving energy, without worrying if you'll have the strength to enjoy the things you love. Picture yourself walking into a room with confidence, feeling alert, steady, and capable. That's the kind of transformation we're talking about here, and it's why this discussion matters so deeply. Robert and I talked often about how small adjustments can create lasting change. He had spent years thinking he needed drastic measures, a strict diet, hours of exercise, or expensive supplements. But the truth is, his transformation came from consistency with the basics. That's something I want you to hear clearly today. You don't need to overhaul your life. What you need is the right foundation built on the essential vitamins your body craves at this stage of life. When I share this message with men, I often hear them say, "Doc, I wish I'd known this 10 years ago." And while that may be true, I always remind them that it's never too late. The body has an incredible ability to respond when you give it the right care, no matter if you're 60, 70, or even 80. I've seen men in their late 70s regain vitality they thought was gone forever, simply by supporting their bodies with the essentials they had been lacking. Robert's wife noticed it too. She told me one day, "He laughs more, he moves more, he seems more alive." And that made me smile, because it confirmed what I already knew. When you restore vitality to the body, it flows into every corner of your relationships and your spirit. This isn't just about muscles and stamina, it's about how you show up in your own life. Now, let me take a moment to invite you to join in this journey with us. If Robert's transformation inspires you, if you can imagine yourself feeling that kind of renewal, I'd love for you to press the like button. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do so now and tap that little bell icon so you're always the first to know when I share new advice. And here's something I truly want from you. Leave me a yes or no in the comments below. Do you believe it's possible to feel stronger, more energetic, and more alive after 60? I'll be reading your responses, and your answers help me know how to shape future conversations. You see, what I've learned over decades of practice is that vitality doesn't disappear with age. It only hides when the body is deprived. And when we bring back what's missing, it comes rushing out like a spring that's been waiting underground. That's what Robert discovered, and that's what I want you to discover too. I remember one particular day when Robert came in after spending a weekend with his family. He said, "Doc, I carried my granddaughter on my shoulders for the first time in years. I didn't just do it, I enjoyed it." That's the kind of joy that vitamins can unlock, because strength and vitality don't just add years to your life, they add life to your years. And so I want you to hear this message clearly. You're not done yet. Your story isn't finished. There is more strength, more performance, more vitality in you than you may realize, and it can be brought forward with the right support. Robert is living proof, and I want you to imagine yourself experiencing the same. Because in the end, this isn't just about supplements or nutrients, it's about reclaiming your identity. It's about feeling like yourself again, showing up for the people you love, and moving through your days with energy and purpose. That's what's most important. And that's what's possible for you right now. So, as you think about your own life, ask yourself, what would it mean to wake up tomorrow with that spark again? To have the energy to do the things you love, to feel strong in your body and confident in your spirit. That's what this journey is about, and that's the gift you can give yourself by taking action today.
One of the most touching moments in Robert's journey came months after we first sat down together. He came into my office, stood a little taller, and told me, "Doc, I don't feel like I'm slowing down anymore. I feel like I'm catching my second wind." His face had color again, his voice carried more strength, and his entire presence seemed renewed. What he was describing was not a miracle. It was simply his body responding to the steady support of the essential vitamins it had been missing for far too long. What I want you to take from Robert's story is that these changes are not reserved for someone special or lucky. They are possible for any man who decides to give his body what it needs. When you do, your energy rises, your strength stabilizes, your confidence grows, and your vitality shines through in ways you may not have felt in years. I've often said that men over 60 are standing at a crossroads. On one path is resignation, accepting fatigue, weakness, and decline as just the way it is. On the other path is renewal, choosing to nurture your body with the tools it needs so you can live with energy, strength, and joy. Robert chose renewal, and it changed everything for him. You have that same choice today. Now, let's imagine for a moment what your life might look like if you made that choice. You wake up and feel rested instead of drained. You move through your day with steady energy, able to enjoy your hobbies, your family, even those small tasks that used to feel burdensome. You end the evening with confidence in your strength and vitality, knowing your body is still capable of carrying you forward. That's not just a dream, it's the very real outcome of supporting your health with the essential vitamins we've been talking about. Robert's transformation rippled far beyond his own life. His wife told me she felt like she had her husband back. His grandkids saw him as the fun, playful grandpa again. His friends even asked him what he was doing differently because they could see the change in him. That's the beautiful truth. When you restore vitality in yourself, it doesn't just benefit you, it blesses everyone around you. And I want to remind you here that age is not the enemy. Age is simply time passing. The real challenge is how we choose to nourish ourselves as those years pass. When you provide your body with what it needs, age becomes a stage of life to be embraced, not feared. Robert embraced it, and so can you. Now, if this message has touched you today, if you feel even a spark of hope hearing Robert's story, I'd like you to do something simple yet meaningful. Please click the like button on this video. It lets me know that you find value here. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do that now, and be sure to tap the bell icon so you never miss future advice. And most importantly, I'd love for you to write a yes or no in the comments below. Do you believe you can reclaim your strength and vitality even after 60? I read every single response, and your answers guide me in shaping the next message that could help you even more. As I bring our conversation to a close, let's circle back to the beginning. Remember how Robert felt when he first walked into my office? Tired, discouraged, and unsure if he could ever feel strong again? Compare that to the man who stood tall months later, telling me he felt alive, energized, and hopeful. That transformation wasn't out of reach, and it isn't out of reach for you either. Your journey may not look exactly like Robert's, but the principle is the same. Your body is capable of more than you think, and it is never too late to give it the support it deserves. With the right foundation, the top essential vitamins for strength, performance, and vitality, you can feel renewed, confident, and alive again. So let me leave you with this encouragement. Life after 60 is not about fading away. It's about living fully, with the wisdom of your years and the strength of your choices. The energy, the confidence, the vitality, they're still within you, waiting to be unlocked. Robert discovered that truth, and now I hope you will too. I'm Dr. Nolan Easton, and I want you to know that no matter where you are on this journey, you are not alone. With the right support, you can wake up tomorrow feeling more like yourself again. And that, my friend, is a future worth stepping into with hope.